Yo, what the vibrant fuck is cracking, shawties? It's your fiending neighborhood tweaker back with another banger, yet another banger. Okay, this one is actually another Adderall video. You know, I said I don't make a whole lot of these, but when I was making my last one, I actually kind of got reminded that this shit happened, right? This is some shit that happened over Christmas break last year, right? Christmas break, December 2024. And this happened right after my first semester in college, which, as I've said several times now, I spent most of that semester doing a shit ton of Adderall, right? Like, that's pretty much what I did as a hobby that semester, okay? I pretty much did fucking Adderall as a hobby, bro. It was literally like my lifeblood, okay? Which, I mean, I guess I kind of use Dexies like that now. But I mean, now I kind of take like a 2 week break. I like go 2 weeks on Dexies, 2 weeks off Dexies, right? That's kind of like my fucking cycle now, right? Like I cycle through it. I actually have like it planned out. Like, and I have like a system now where like I have 2 weeks of doing a shit ton of Dexies and then 2 weeks of doing like acid and other shit and like dating too. Like I date in the 2 weeks I'm not on Dexies because when I'm on Dexies, I don't really find too much interest in women. I find more interest in making music and going into fucking psychosis. So nowadays, that's kind of how it is. Back then, I was actually just doing Adderall literally the whole fucking semester, like nonstop. Pretty crazy shit, pretty crazy lifestyle. I don't know how the fuck I stayed above 140 pounds, but I did. Either way, that's kind of just how I spent the semester. And when I came back home, I went back to my parents' house for Christmas break after the first semester. I still had some Adderalls left over, right? I've been buying them from Cameron, and I had like a few left over. I had like 2 left over, right? But I wasn't, that wasn't a fucking, you know, solid enough amount of, Adderalls to get me through the break, right? So I hit up Cameron, kind of like, I think in the first 3 days I was back at my parents' house. I hit up Cameron and I said, yo, is it cool if I pull like 2 more Dexies, or not Dexies, fucking Addies, not Dexies, Addies. I was doing Addies back then, you know, the weaker version of Dexies. I hit up Cameron. I was like, yo, you mind if I pull 2 more Addies off of you? I only have 2 right now. And, you know, back then, my Adderall tolerance was through the roof, okay? I had to have a solid amount of Adderall in my system if I was going to get sent to Geek City, all right? So I hit up Cameron. I was like, yo, let me pull through and just, like, grab two Addies from you, you know? That's kind of what I told him. I was like, I need these shits for my geek session tonight. And he was like, all right, bet, I can get those to you. So I pull through. I got him a crumble cookie. Right? I talked about this method before, right? You know, I pull up to his house. I get him the crumble cookie. This is kind of what I did when I got the Wellbutrins from him, right? And I rolled up a fucking $10 bill because I was only grabbing 2. So, you know, 5 per Addy, that's $10, you know. So he was just like, yo, throw me $10 and you're good for them. So I rolled up a $10 bill, put that shit in the little crumble cookie box, gave that shit to him. He threw me the pills, and I was out. I zipped out. I picked me up a liquid death because I knew the second I started geeking, I was going to be thirsty as a motherfucker, okay? So I have these, what I thought to be 4 Adderalls, right? But when I get home, right, I kind of stay upstairs for a second to talk to my parents, right? Because, like, that's just kind of how we were. We kind of had, like, our little family, like, talk at the end of every night where we just, like, kind of, like, hung out in the living room and, like, talked about our days and shit. That's kind of, it may not make sense to other people, but, I mean, when you're in an LDS household, that's kind of how it works, right? Like, I feel like, you know, LDS families, they take family a lot more seriously. So we kind of have, like, our little, like, scripture study or whatever it is, dude. like, I know it sounds so weird to people who aren't LDS, which is 100% of people watching this. I highly doubt there's anyone LDS watching this. But that's kind of how it works when you're in an LDS household, right? You get together each night, you read scriptures, and you talk about your day and shit. That's kind of how it is, right? So we get together, we have our little fucking scripture study, all that shit, and then we talk about our days and all that. And then what happens is I go downstairs, and I had pretty much, dude, every time I talk about Adderall, I start yawning. I don't know what it is. I pop out these Dexies, right? I had snuck them in like a little like gum pack, right? I don't know why I was so overly secretive about my fucking Adderall. I mean, that's probably why I lost them, or I lost one of them. But dude, I haven't even gotten to that yet. Whatever. That's probably why I lost one, because I had to be so secretive about it. I couldn't just fucking put it in like a goddamn like bag or some shit. Like, dude, I don't know why I had to do all this extra shit. But yeah, I put it in like I put it in like a gum pack, like a little pack of gum. I like slid it into the little paper pouch that's in the actual pack of gum, and I slid these 2 Adderall XRs into that shit, right? And I pull it out, and I have my other 2 Adderall XRs, and I pull out this pack of gum, and I look into it, and I don't look into it first. I dump it out. I dump out the fucking pouch that I put the Adderalls in, and only one falls out, right? And I'm kind of confused because I bought 2 from Cameron, right? So I look into the gum pack, and it's not there. The other Adderall is not there, gang. It is fucking gone, okay? Red alert. Dude, fucking red alert in my bedroom here, okay? Where the fuck is this second Adderall? Where the hell is it? Okay, this is like all fucking, dude, all hands on deck. Where the fuck is this Adderall? We gotta find this shit right now, okay? I don't know why, but dude, back then when I was doing the weaker shit, I also fiended harder for it. I fiended harder for Adderall, so I was in a full-blown panic, okay? Like, I had quite the panic looking for this Adderall. I was looking all over my room. I looked in places that it couldn't have possibly been in. I looked in my fucking sock drawer for this Adderall. Now tell me, how the vibrant fuck would this Adderall go from my pack of gum to the sock drawer? In what autistic universe would that even be possible? Don't ask me. I don't know. But I checked my goddamn sock drawer. I'll tell you that. I checked my fucking sock drawer. And when I couldn't find it anywhere in my room, you know what I did? I took my little ass upstairs and I looked in my car. Dude, I looked all over my car for this shit because I drove to Cameron's house and I had the Adderall in my pocket, in my car on the way home, and I just assumed, oh, maybe it teleported from outside my gum pack to like my car, or like somewhere in my car. Maybe it fell between the seats or some shit. And I kid you not, 2 fucking hours looking for this Adderall in total. I also go inside and I look around the spot that I was sitting in the living room. Because, dude, if my mom found that Adderall before I did, well, I'm shit out of luck, dude. I'm fucked in the ass, in the mouth, and in the nostrils, dude. I am fucked in every hole you can imagine. So I look all over the living room. I look everywhere. And my mom comes out, actually, and she asks me, like, yo, what are you looking for? And I just told her that I lost, like, some change, dude, because that's literally the only thing I could think of in the 2 seconds I had to think of something. And you know what she says? She says, why the hell are you spending so much time looking for change? You know, she had saw me out in the car looking for it. And she was so confused as to why I was spending so much time looking for change and how I even remembered it, which is valid. It's valid to be confused about that. I don't know why there's no fucking universe in which I would care about some change, right? So pretty much what I told her was that it was like, I had like one of the Sacagawea coins, and so I actually kind of like cared about it because it was worth $1. But she was still, dude, she was still confused as to why the hell I cared about $1. And that's honestly valid. And she said, she literally just told me, like, dude, stop fucking throwing all the pillows everywhere. If I find it anywhere, I'll give it to you, okay? That's kind of what she told me. And so I just, like, went downstairs. And I was just like, well, shit, I guess I'm just doing 3 Adderalls, right? And that's pretty much how I saw the situation. And that's only because I wasn't geeked up, okay? Like, I kid you not, that was only because I wasn't geeked up that I was thinking like that. All right, let me tell you, the second I popped these 3 Adderall XRs and I came up, oh no, that isn't where the story ends, okay? I am not letting that Adderall go missing. Because, dude, I came up and I started thinking, you know, when you kind of come up on Adderall, you start thinking through things a little bit more, and you start thinking through things more thoroughly, too. And I start thinking about things. I'm like, how the actual fuck did I lose this Adderall? Like, how? Like, how did I even manage to lose it? It was in the bottom of this pack of gum I had. Like, how the fuck do I just lose that? So now I'm rummaging my laundry, I'm rummaging my pockets, and I'm, like, digging deep into the depths of my pockets. I'm turning my pockets inside out, picking through the lint and the lining of my pockets, trying to figure out where the vibrant fuck this Adderall is, okay? I'm telling y'all, I've never looked more thoroughly for something in my life, dude, okay? Like, dude, I would not even look, dude, if I had the last fucking plan B on the planet, and I had just came inside a bitch, I am not even looking for that plan B harder than I'm looking for this Adderall right now. I am rummaging my shit. I am turning my shit upside down looking for this Adderall. I have never looked harder for something in my life. I am telling you. I am literally like fucking, dude, I am like Indiana Jones finding the treasure, dude. I'm seeking out the treasure, okay? This Adderall, hey, X marks the spot, dude. I am looking for this Adderall. I got the shovel and the map in my hand, dude. Holy shit. And I feel like a dumbass. I'm going through all the possible case scenarios. I'm retracing my steps, and then I realize something. I realized that I went to the gas station to get my liquid death, right? I went to the fucking gas station to get my severed lime liquid death, and you know where I went inside the gas station when I was getting my liquid death? I went to the fucking bathroom, and you know what I did in the bathroom for no fucking reason? I pulled out my gum. And I realized, oh, I don't even want to put gum in because I'm going to be drinking liquid death in a second. And that's going to taste really fucking weird if I have mint gum in my mouth. And then I remembered I dropped my fucking gum in that bathroom. And you know what happened? All the gum fell out. But I looked in the gum pack. I remember looking in the gum pack, and I saw one Adderall XR, and I assumed the other one was underneath it. So now, you know what I was gonna do? Now that I remembered this whole random string of events that transpired inside the fucking Maverick bathroom, I snuck out, ladies and gentlemen, because by the time I had found this out, it was like 12:30, and my parents don't really like us using the car after 12 because of shit my sister used to do. So now my only option was to walk. So you know what the fuck I did, ladies and gentlemen? I walked all the way to this fucking Maverick, right? It was like a mile away. I get my shoes on. I get my coat on. And because, dude, keep in mind, it is Rexburg and it is winter. It is Christmas break. It is the heart of winter, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It is like negative fucking 7 degrees out, okay? Like, if I go out, if I were to go out in this weather naked, my dick would be dead in like fucking like 2 hours, dude. Like, my dick would literally be black and it would fall off, dude. Like, hypothermia on the dick, okay? No questions asked. So I had to have a coat on or my nipples were gonna fucking freeze off, okay? This was serious weather out here, okay? Really remote shit. It was like I was in Antarctica, dude. I was probably at risk of getting fucking mauled by a polar bear out here, okay? It was some serious shit in Rexburg, Idaho this time of year. So I'm walking to Maverick in the deep fucking snow, dude. I am like on a whole ass expedition out here, dude. It's like I'm like fucking like, dude, it's like I'm like dead ass traversing like the fucking North Pole, dude. It is unreal. The fucking conditions I'm putting up with to go and secure this Adderall from the gas station, right? And it is like an hour-long walk. I kid you not, an hour-long walk to the gas station. It's like, I think, like 2 miles away, but the thing is, it's like such shitty conditions that I'm like slipping every single time I step on the sidewalk. So then I would like switch onto like the grass and walk in like the 2-foot deep snow, but then I'm getting snow all in my shoes because I stupidly chose to put on fucking Air Forces instead of just putting on like hiking boots or something. And so now I'm getting snow in my fucking Air Forces, so I just choose to walk on the sidewalk, and I keep switching between the sidewalk and the 2 feet deep snow, but I'm keep slipping whenever I walk on the sidewalk, and I keep getting snow all over my shit when I walk in the snow, and it's just a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing, okay? I put up with a whole mountain of bullshit just to go and get this Adderall from the gas station. And you know what? I go to the gas station, and I go into the bathroom, and I'm looking all over for this pill. And you know what? Eventually, I find it. I find the fucking pill in this gas station. And you know where the fuck I put this, you know where the fuck I find this pill? It is right by the urinal, dude. It like the reason I didn't see it when I first dropped my gum in this gas station bathroom is because I literally dropped it and it like bounced under the stalls and it went like by the urinal, dude. So I pick up this Adderall that probably had dozens of piss molecules all over it. And you know what the fuck I do? I wash it in the sink and I pop that shit on site. Okay, real fiend shit. This is the most fiend shit I've ever done, and it's not even the most addictive substance I've ever done. Adderall is not that addictive. Like, I know I probably shouldn't say that because y'all are gonna be out here like, oh, a real experienced drug addict just told me Adderall isn't addictive. I'm gonna go fucking snort Adderall all day. That's like, don't take it like that, okay? That like, I'm not saying that you should do fucking Adderall, but I am gonna say, like, I'm not gonna bullshit here. Adderall is not that addictive, okay? It's not the most addictive shit in the world. Like, it's nowhere near as addictive as like Xanax. But like, even when I was addicted to benzos, I've never done this shit for a K-pin, dude. I never have. But when it came to the Adderall, oh, I went on a fucking expedition for this Adderall. And I think that's because Adderall's an upper. So when I came up on the Adderall, I was willing to do some treacherous shit just to fucking secure this Adderall. Because I'm high on Adderall, right? It's an upper. I would do anything. If you give me Adderall, you can get me pumped up for the worst possible fucking adventures, dude. You could make me, dude, you could convince me to like go on like a fucking like swimming trip through an ocean of shit to get like one fucking Dexy. If you get me geeked enough on amphetamines, I am swimming through an ocean of shit to get a Dexy. 100%. Cause dude, I'm literally like capable of anything when I'm off the amphetamines. So I had made this fucking expedition for my piss-covered Adderall. I pop that shit. I get home, and I make music for the rest of the night, right? And this, keep in mind, this expedition, it was like an hour each way. Dude, by the time I got home, it was like fucking like 2 or 3 a.m. I just get home, I go downstairs, I go to my room, and I just fucking make music all night, right? And then I remember in the morning, I was just pissed off. Like, I remember, like, dude, because the thing is, the more you do Adderall and the more addicted you get, and the more you, like, get just fucking, like, just immersed in the amphetamine addiction, the more you kind of get, like, the side effects of, like, anger and rage when you're coming down, right? I feel like that's kind of how it works. Like, I feel like nowadays I kind of avoid that side effect because I quit every 2 weeks. But dude, back when I was like kind of like coming to like the end of like my Adderall addiction, and I kind of stopped and just started spending my time doing more like psychedelics, which that part of the reason I made that decision to stop doing as much Adderall and kind of getting it more into psychedelics instead. Part of the reason I made that decision is because I realized that my geek sessions, the ratio of time I spent happy to pissed kind of started going to shit, right? Like, when I first started doing Adderall, I would spend the first fucking, like, 12 hours happy as fuck and motivated as fuck, and then, like, maybe, like, 4 hours after that, I would be pissed. But near the end of my fucking Adderall addiction, dude, I would spend, like, dude, I would spend like maybe 4 hours geeked and like actually fucking happy, and then I would spend like the next fucking like 12 hours being pissed, right? So now I'm just like pissed for like the whole like early morning and like the rest of the day. I remember my dad came down and tried to talk to me, and I was such a dick to my dad, and I really just regret that, dude. Like, my dad was just coming down and he like saw I was making music, and he was like asking about it because I hadn't really showed him my music software before, and he was just asking about it, and I was like so pissed because he was like interrupting my music making process and shit. I was just such a dick. I really do regret that shit, and I actually apologized to him later that day because I like came down and I wasn't under the influence of fucking amphetamine-induced rage, right? So I did apologize that day. I'm glad I like came down and like came to my senses and shit. But dude, this fucking Christmas break, dude, I was pissed off the Addies, dude. Whenever I did the Addies, I got pissed off, and I regret that shit. But luckily, halfway through Christmas break is kind of when I stopped with the Adderalls, and I kind of just started to do more of the fucking acid and more of the psychs and shit. And the next semester is when I got into psychs, and I got into like Molly and got into all that again. But then I kind of stopped when I got a girlfriend, right? I got a girlfriend second semester. So yeah, that's kind of like just a story from like the end of really, like my whole Adderall phase in the first semester of college, right? And yeah, that's just kind of, I mean, probably one of the only Adderall stories I have, because like I said, I don't really do much interesting shit when I'm on Adderall, right? But yeah, that's just a fun one I wanted to talk about, because holy shit, I went on a quest and a half for that lost fourth Adderall, dude. I tell you, I would do anything for Adderall at this point in my life. But yeah, that's pretty much it.